I think Ant's the type that he wants this. He needs to prove that he's better than SGA. I don't know if he's better than SGA. I didn't say that now. I didn't say that. I'm just saying I think he needs to prove. Yeah. You can't tell him that, you know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. That's what we want in these Western Conference Finals. We want Ant to have that chip on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Ant's never been that.
Hold up, though, Chill. Is Ant better than SGA?
No. Don't do this now.
Don't do this. I just said he wasn't. Don't do this now. I'm putting the filler out because, hey, Chill, in 7 games, Chill, you know how the landscape can change in 7 games.
Yes, sir.
So now I'm asking now, May 20th, is Anthony Edwards
but wait, Mars. Now hold on. No,
yes.
I'm not gonna say that.
Yes, indeed.
But Ant is in the tier to where it's not crazy if we discover that he is. We might not think he is today, but Ant, he surpassed Luka. Why can't he surpass SGA?
There you go. I got SGA and Ant greater than Luka.
But who you got out of those?
I can't wait till he's fully healthy next season, man. I cannot.
And I got.
I swear. I promise you. I promise. No. Because I've heard this.
Jordan probably has Şengün above Luka.
Luka comes back.
No. Hell no.
33, 9, and 10. You won't be able to shut me up. You won't. Every day, Monday through Friday, I'm here.
John D. Are we loading? John, are we loading 32, 8, and 8 on?
We're loading it.
On 49.
You know what you loading up? You loading up kolaches. You loading up kolaches, hookahs, donuts.
Hey, watch. I looked on Indeed.
Like a good time.
I'm looking for a new conditioning coach. It's happening. Luka's gonna be right. He's gonna be right. He's going to average 33, 9, 11 on 62% true shooting.
Wait a minute. I don't want Ox to derail this. I want to get back to what we were talking about. Is Anthony Edwards better at basketball than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Is he better at basketball?
No.
Hey,
now,
man,
because here's the difference, Jordan. Here's the difference, because I'm an advocate of this. You could be better at basketball than somebody, but then get outplayed. Because Ant can outplay this dude in this series. That could happen.
And then he gonna be. Did he better than him? That's it.
Then we doing that.
He played better than him. Yeah, he played better.
And see, this is where the dilemma happens.
What y'all gonna make Ant prove? Like, you know,
making him do anything. I just don't think he's better than Shai.
You know
at
what?
Basketball.
Chill.
This is what I'm talking about, Mars. I'm listening.
Chill. You know what? I gotta cut you some slack because you know I heard Gil and them talking about Jason Tatum and SGA, how they the same age, I think, and accomplishments for Tatum is so much greater than what SGA is, but they make it seem like it's something else. And I'm like, bro, Ant younger than him. What he got to do? Like, what do you want these guys to prove? What more do you want these guys to prove if they do this? If they do that, then he's still not better than him. I go into Oklahoma City, I kick his ass, I go to the finals. He never been to the finals, and I'm still not better than him. What do I got to do? Getting braids? What I got to do?
Probably just like get better at him than at
what do I got to do?
This is where the dilemma is. Because what happens when guys who are better at basketball get outplayed?
I don't know. I think Shai played better than Jokic last series. I think Jokic is better than him.
Hey.
Shit, after what I saw in Game 5, man, I gotta wait. I gotta wait till next season. I need to wait till next season before I have another. I need to wait till next season.
I've seen Jimmy Butler outplay Giannis in 2 series. He ain't better than him.
He was on that day.
He played better than him, and you get the full credit for playing better than that person in that series. You can say Jimmy Butler was better than Giannis in this series, and I would agree with you. Now, if you say Jimmy Butler's better than Giannis, I'm gonna disagree with you. Like,
at that time he was better than him.
And that's fine. And that time is the only thing that matters. And can outplay Shai in this series.
Sure.
I'm not saying that's impossible. I still don't think he's better than him.
Now let me ask you. Now with that,
relevant to the outcome of the series.
100%. Now this is where the dilemma comes in, Mars. So how far apart are Anthony Edwards and SGA in your?
They're in different tiers to me.
Okay, so there's a gap. Now, with that being said, right? With that being said, because I've always felt like when you are close to a guy, right? For a prime example, I'll give David Robinson and Olajuwon. When David Robinson and Olajuwon went at it in the '95 West Finals, those dudes was like this.
Oh, that was
David Robinson got his ass kicked. Olajuwon goes ahead of him. if SGA and Anthony Edwards are close to each other and he outplays him, then can he go ahead?
Mark's gonna say that make him even. It's gonna
SGA not gonna get his ass kicked though. Chill. SGA not gonna get his ass kicked.
I ain't saying that.
He gonna hold his own. He gonna hold his own.
And on everything today.
But see, that's the thing. But see, that's the thing, though, Ox. That's the thing, though, Ox. Anthony Edwards. This is what I love about him more than anything. You are going to compete against me, or I'm gonna eat your lunch. You gonna compete against me? What y'all think? Y'all think SGA ducking that? SGA no, I don't think
too. Not at all.
SGA just a little more of a reserved fella. He a little, he's a little more calm, a little more. I think SGA wanted just as bad as Ant do. But Mars, I think when you got players like this, right? And I know it's exhausting. I know you don't like to do the list thing anyway. But my thing about this hoop thing, Mars, is the list changes every day, dog. Like. There's to me. That's just me. Y'all don't gotta live. Y'all don't gotta see it though.
I
live every day. I ain't worried about tomorrow.
Every day, it's like the stock market.
We editing and revising every single day.
Every day. I'm telling y'all that there is no consistent. Now I'm talking about active players, of course. And when you're active, that's why it's hard to make lists with active players, because with these active players, especially when you're talking about that top. So you got that top 5, and then you got that 6 through 16 or whatever. I don't know. I'm just putting out numbers there, right? When you're in these tiers, right? I do honestly think it's a boom thing. It's a like Jokic be here, Giannis, them dudes, but everybody else, man, I'm telling you, this in this series, I think it's going to be a game by game basis. Just because I respect Ant's game enough, I think if you ask me who's better right now, I'll tell you SGA, but. I like it. I like it.
Hey, I'm gonna give a good analogy. Let's go to parties, right? So it's like the pretty boy walking the party, the capper. That's all SGA. He rubbing his hand together, got his shoulders working, and then you look over, and then you see that cute dog coming up, and he start talking about, and then all the girls be like, "Oh, what we doing right here?" You got them cappers. And then you got them cute dogs. And then it's the battle of the dance.
Respect the Cappers, though. Respect the Cappers.
And respect to them. But it's the battle of the dance after a while. It's about who got the most motion. You know what I mean? It's two different. Yeah. Both are the shit. But, to each his own. Some women like the cute dogs. Some of them like them Cappers.
Jordan, all I'm going to say, Jordan, right now is them skims can't save Shai. Shai going to have to ball out.
My man, bro, Ant pulling up to the Oklahoma City Thunder arena with holes in his drawers. He ain't worried about them skins. This is what we own. This is what we own. Dog eat, dog world. The camera go flag. I say he got a hole in his drawers. Yes.
It's sagging too. You gotta be ashamed of your young ass self.
This is what it's about.
That's what Jordan. I ain't need Jordan. Anthony Edwards is coming. I ain't even comb my hair today.
That nigga raggedy, bro. You can go to Walmart and get a pack of drawers, bro.
Come on. Hey, he don't care about that. He only care about one thing.
He don't care about that.
And that's serving you. That's eating your lunch. But y'all, I do want to say this though, because I understand that probably for the last 2 seasons and for a majority of the season this year, and even today, Shai has been put in this tier, and Ant not so much. But we have consistently watched Ant get better and better and better. We watched Ant in the playoffs. We watched Ant in the playoffs rise. So I'm saying that to say, Mars, I think they're a little closer than we give it credit for. I think Ant is right there. Ant on the verge of breaking into SGA's tier. Ant's on the verge of breaking into that SGA, Luka, for some people, Tatum tier. I think he's
Ron,
he got to prove that too. He got to prove that.
He do.
Maybe I'm just higher on Shai than you guys are.
I'm high on Shai. I'm high on Shai too. I like Shai too.
I'm high on Shai, but I think both of them. Ant's trajectory, like he is.
Yeah, I don't doubt the trajectory. I just don't think he's dead now.
But like, so you know how like Shai just skyrocketed up into this tier? I think Ant's on his skyrocket. I think within the next 6 to 12 months, he's gonna be in that room with him.
Ron, amongst the
in a year, maybe I will be saying and Shai in the same tier. In a year, maybe I'll be saying I think that's better than Shai now. I don't know, but like I'm just saying, March.
Yeah, this could be the new information.
I said that.
As of today, I think they're in different tiers. I think Shai is a tier ahead. I mean, I'm saying I think Shai is one of the tier 2 guards of the last 25 years. Like, I think he's that's how high I am on Shai. Like, I think he's in a tier with guys like Chris Paul and James Harden and Luka and
how much better
Steve Nash
how much
and
better
Dwayne Wade.
That's what I was about to ask.
Like, Anthony Edwards isn't in that tier to me. So, like, that's how high I am on Shai. So, like, for me, if someone asks me who's better, Ant or Shai, and I say, oh, well, Ant's in the same tier as Shai, I'm saying, because how I view Shai, I'm saying Ant's in the same tier as Chris Paul and James Harden and all of those guys. And I don't think he's that good. But that's how good I think Shai is.
Crazy D-Wade stray. Maybe accidental, but
no, I think
how the hell did you get in there with D-Wade?
Anthony might be at the top of that tier, but I think he's in that tier.
That's what I was about to ask you, Mars. That's exactly.
So maybe he's in tier 1.5. Maybe D-Wade's in tier 1.5.
That's what I'm saying. No, with Ant. So the same comparison with D-Wade and Shai. That's how I feel like it's the same thing with Shai and Anthony Edwards. I'm in your tier. It might be a little separation between us, but I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think it's crazy to say that Ant can walk into that tier. Like, I think there's two young players in Ant and Wemby that could be in that tier by the end of next year. Like, I don't think that's crazy to say with the vast improvement that both of these guys have made over this season and what they could do over the course of next year, because the improvements for Ant are wide open. Like, we know Ant has to make better decisions at a timely manner, way better and way more consistent. We know he has to build an in-between game. We know he's already good on the defensive side of the ball. We know his pull-up shooting has gotten a lot better, and we know how he is once he gets ahead of steam to the rim. So if we know what the deficiency within his game is, I'm pretty sure that he knows what it is. And I know that he's going to go into this offseason being like, look, I got to study the game better, watching a little bit more film and making my decisions quicker and more consistent. I also have to
John D, I got one pushback though, John D.
Mm-hmm.
What if Ant win a championship with all his flaws?
That's where I was going, Jordan. That's where I was next. And the reason why I'm saying that, that's where I was going, Jordan.
John D.
Let me tell you why, John D.
Then the Timberwolves are a really good team, and they deserve credit.
Because that wasn't the case.
But that doesn't just say that, I don't need to get better at these things. That doesn't mean
I didn't say you need to get better, but if I'm winning the chips, ain't nobody talking about what MJ need to get better at, and he winning 6 of them things. Ain't nobody talking about what Kobe need to get better at, and he winning 5 of them things.
Maybe they should.
Or LeBron when he winning all of these things. The game is about winning. You might be a better shooter than me, great. But if I kick your ass consistently and I'm putting up respectable points, I'm not talking about I put up 10 points and you put up 40, and then I'm arguing I'm better than you. Like, no, I'm talking about we in the same level of producing points and blah, blah, blah. We on that same stretch. Maybe I'm not the best shooter. Maybe I'm not the best passer. But when it come down to winning, I'm the best winner. Winning is a skill. I teach kids that shit all the time. Winning is a skill.
This is the thing. This is the
most important skill.
If the Timberwolves win the championship, it won't just be because of Ant. Like, it will be because guys are making shots.
It's like Shai. It won't be because of just Shai.
Exactly. So why did you roll your eyes when I said the Timberwolves are a good team?
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at PrizePicks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With PrizePicks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections in every single stat line imaginable to make your prize picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with PrizePicks. So what are you waiting for? Download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. PrizePicks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
I'm saying.
And here you are like, yeah, it's not just that. And I'm saying the same thing. You're rolling your eyes.
This is what you dudes are sitting here doing.
Discredit
That's not correct. Because I'm 100% confident.
He deserves full credit. But what I'm saying is that them winning just
has flaws.
He still has flaws, and like we can.
But they're going to win with him being the best player on the team for sure.
And that's amazing. And you give him credit for like being able to win, and the Timberwolves, you give them credit for being able to win. That doesn't change the fact that Ant isn't a perfect basketball player.
And nobody's saying that he is, Mars. And nobody's saying that he is.
So what's the problem?
The problem is when he wins. I'm sorry, Jordan. The problem is when he does win, it's going to be a completely different conversation because you dudes ain't going to sit up here and act like you wasn't around when Dwayne Wade won the championship in 2006. And I heard that he better than Bryant. I'm going to crash my car. I had to listen to that. I heard that this dude was better.
Yeah, I literally wasn't around, Chill. So
in 2006, I'm around and I'm listening to these people tell me that Dwayne Wade, who's the Finals MVP at 23 years old, hey, is he better than Kobe? And I'm like, I'm gonna crash my car to a telephone pole.
But he wasn't better than Kobe, right?
They didn't mean that, Chill. That was just doing it for content. I mean, it's always been a content.
But he wasn't better than Kobe, so like that's like kind of the point.
Like,
but Ant can win, and he can maybe he is like D Wade in 06. He can win.
But I don't think
Kobe. Don't mean he's better than Kobe. Don't mean he's better than. I know Shai's not Kobe
and D Wade. I don't think Kobe and D Wade was close to be. I mean, I don't think they were close to be.
No, I don't think so.
But I do think Ant and SGA is very close. I think them two are in the same tier.
So in the pantheon of players, Mars. So in the pantheon of players, Mars, Joker, Giannis, Tatum, SGA, Luka, Anthony Davis, James, KD, Donovan Mitchell, Wemby, Curry. Where is Anthony Edwards in that pantheon of players?
The only player you named who I think and like who I'm taking and over and I'm comfortable is Donovan Mitchell. Everyone else I'd have.
He was at 9. Anthony,
yeah, he was at 9 for you, but you said Steph at 11. Yeah, you said Steph at 11. I think Steph's better than Donovan Mitchell. Okay. So like the of the names you said, I think he's better than Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
I would have the conversation about Wemby. I'd have the at this point. I would have the conversation.
He can't be better than Wemby.
He can be. I said I would have the conversation.
He's having a conversation. Keep going.
I'll have the conversation, and then like everyone else, I'm pretty sure I think they're better than that. Everyone.
So we're anywhere to Jordan's point. So we anywhere with Anthony Edwards, anywhere between let's say 8 and 12. Is that fair? And of the pantheon of players.
Well, I think I got him in the top 10 as of.
I don't know.
So if you got him anywhere between 8 and 12,
I know I got Shai at 3. So
this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going, John D. So if you got if you have him in that area, if he ends up going deep in the playoffs like he's already done. And he ends up rocking like we expect him to do in this Western Conference Championship. They get past Oklahoma City. They end up winning the NBA championship. Have we not seen guys move from 8 to 4? Have we not seen guys move from 8 to 3? That's happened before.
Yeah, I definitely think that can happen because some of the guys that are stamped like top 10 players, they're very inconsistent throughout the season. For example, LeBron and Steph, they could be very inconsistent throughout the season. And I definitely think people could make an argument that the fact that Ant's younger and he can give you a full 82 games of 100% and down to the wire basketball, that you can make an argument that he could find his way in the top 6 or to the top 5.
Sure.
But I just still think there is some flaws in Ant's game. Like, I still think he can get started when people try to speed him up or force him to be a playmaker. He's gotten better, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that he's to the level just yet. But there are clear signs for improvement. Like, for example, the Thunder just won 68 games. They're a historical defense, and Shai's about to win MVP. That doesn't mean I think Shai's the perfect player. I still think Shai can be a better court processor and passer. Yeah. I still think down to the wire in those playoff situations, he can get a lot better at that. That doesn't mean if Shai goes and wins it, I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, he's automatically better than Jokic, when I've seen Jokic do a lot more and just be better than Shai, like for the past 3 years. So I wouldn't just leap Anthony Edwards into those conversations, but I would open the door and be like, you can walk in it. You can walk in those conversations.
You don't get a chair. You don't get to sit at this table, but you can come in the room. Come on in.
Yeah,
Ant's public perception will have him probably in and around the top 5 if they win. Yeah, I mean, Ant's public perception probably has him at like 7 right now. I'm not speaking for the public. I'm speaking for myself. For me,
yeah,
no, I don't think Ant's better than Jason Tatum or Shai or Jokic or Giannis. I know you didn't say Joel Embiid, but I feel Joel Embiid is a better player. So
I think he is too. I'm not gonna argue
Mars, new information though. New information. We ain't seen Joel play in months.
Yeah, the new information is the Anthony Edwards I've seen
him.
play is the Anthony Edwards I've seen isn't better than Joel Embiid. That's the new information. The Anthony Edwards I've seen this year isn't better than Joel Embiid. Jason Tatum did just tear his Achilles. So if you want to say I'm not ranking him because he's hurt, like that's cool. Sure. And if you want to say I'm not ranking Embiid because he's always hurt, that's cool. I'm speaking for myself.
Sure.
I'm going to rank them both of them. So once again, what people do with their own list is what they do with their own list. But for me, if the Timberwolves win this series against OKC, and if the Timberwolves win the NBA championship, and Ant plays at the level he's been at for most of the playoffs, which has been quite good. He hasn't been elite in these playoffs for like scoring the ball. He hasn't been elite. But he's been cool. If he plays at that level, not much really changes besides like you get a larger sample of the playmaking jump he took, and you get to see it against more opponents, which is always good because the sample size is important. Like this series against OKC's defense is going to be very impressive to me, just because it is the best defense Anthony Edwards has ever seen in the playoffs, and how he looks is going to be very interesting. Now, in these small samples, it's very possible that Anthony Edwards just has a bad shooting series, not because of OKC's defense, just the 3-point shot is a volatile shot. Maybe it's a 6-game series. Maybe he shoots 31% from 3 over 6 games. That's not going to be a major indictment on Anthony Edwards as a player, in my opinion, because it's a 6-game sample where he shot the ball poorly. But if his process as a playmaker is bad, if he finds himself dribbling into traffic, if OKC are forcing him into tough shots that he's not comfortable with, then I'm like, okay, credit to OKC's defense. Anthony Edwards still has some things to work on. Like it all comes down to how these things unfold. Like if Anthony Edwards goes into this OKC series and shoots 51% from 3, that doesn't automatically mean Anthony Edwards is now a better player than he was. He had a crazy hot shooting series, and you give him credit for having that series. But we also know Anthony Edwards isn't a 51% 3-point shooter. But Mark, so I'm not gonna use that to act like he's something he's not.
Though, because
it's not. I don't think
he made the most. So if Steph does it, we give him credit because we know Steph has the capability.
This is why I don't understand how people don't listen to what I'm saying. I said you give him credit for doing that because what I'm saying it abundant. I thought I was saying it so clear that it couldn't be.
No, I got you, Moss.
What I'm saying is, you give the player full credit for what they do within the series, because in order to win the series, maybe they needed that 51% shooting from Ant.
And he has the capability to do that.
Yes, and you give him credit for doing that. It's like Paolo last year. Paolo last year against Cleveland shot 50% from mid-range in the playoffs. Yep. You give him full credit for doing that because Orlando needed his offense. But in the same breath, you say, in a 7-game sample, Paolo can shoot that well, but he's not that good of a shooter. So I'm not going to change my whole analysis of Paolo as a player based on 7 games. Yeah, he's an elite shooter. He's not a 51% 3-point shooter.
I'm not going.
Exactly. He's done. But when Steph Curry shoots 50% from 3 in the playoffs,
when he doesn't, you say he's that great. When he doesn't, you say he's that great.
When Steph shoots,
when LeBron averaged 38 in the Eastern Conference Finals, he was able to rise to levels that LeBron. I understand that, but
give credit for doing that. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I have to elevate him as a player in his rankings. I don't have to do that.
Yeah, but when I elevate you as a rankings, I'm able to take my game to a different height on the highest stage. Few people can do that. Not few people can do that.
But he's also able to have a series where he shoots poorly from 3, and that's not going to bring him down the rankings. That's my point. My rankings. For you, I'm taking for myself.
I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, but you only want to speak for yourself. I'm only speaking for me. For you, it will. For me, when I'm speaking, I'm saying for me, if Ant has a poor 3-point shooting series, that doesn't bring him down the rankings. The same way if Ant has a otherworldly 50% 3-point shooting series, that doesn't shoot him up the rankings because I understand the volatility of the 3-point shot. What I'm looking at for Ant is how is he getting to these shots? What is his process like in the half court? How is he navigating OKC's defensive coverages? What is he doing in transition? That's what I'm looking at. The process. The outcome is important. And in terms of winning the series, the outcome is the most important thing. If Ant shoots 50% from 3, Minnesota have a much better chance of winning the series. But that doesn't mean that he's now a better player. That's not what that means to me. Because in small samples, things can change game to game. Like Anthony Edwards was shooting elite against the Lakers for the first 4 games. In game 5, he shot 0 for 11. He entered the series at now like 33% from 3 because one game he shot terribly.
Right.
Does that now mean, Ant's a 33% 3-point shooter?
No, it doesn't.
So small samples, things can be skewed. That's what I'm trying to say.
Do you use that same logic, Mars, with a lead guard? So because I'm about to ask you, because Anthony Edwards as a shooter, That's one of the things that he's enhanced this season, right? He's become a much better shooter. So because he's become a much better shooter, he's now put in that category with shooters. So if he gets into this series, turns out he doesn't shoot the basketball very well. Can I do the same thing with Tyrese Halliburton as a distributor? Tyrese Halliburton is one of the best distributors in the game. That's what he's known for. Tyrese Halliburton goes up against this Knicks team and he becomes a turnover machine. That doesn't affect him?
Like I said, with the shooting thing, it depends on how are those turnovers coming.
Because
my thing about Tyrese Halliburton has been about how good of a decision maker he is and how quick he gets off the ball. If we come into a Knicks series and all of a sudden he's becoming flustered by blitzes and he's over dribbling and all those things, then I'm going to talk about that being, why did that happen? Is Halliburton not as good of a decision maker as I thought? Did I not see something in previous series or when I was watching Halliburton previously that I missed that led to this? Or was it just turnovers where he's throwing passes that he normally makes, and sometimes you get turnovers because your teammate. I don't know how turnovers work. Because if I put the ball right in your hands and you drop it, that's not my turnover. I'm sorry, that's not. But sometimes those turnovers happen. Yeah, but sometimes those turnovers happen. So like, it depends on how the turnovers happen. And if Halliburton goes from averaging he averages 2 turnovers, if he goes into the series against the Knicks and averages 6 turnovers and they're ridiculously bad I don't want to say brain dead,
he has a brain fart,
out of character decisions for Tyrese Halliburton. That's going to be an indictment on him, especially within that series. Now, as a whole, am I going to say now Tyrese Halliburton's a bad decision maker when I'm analyzing him as a player? No. But I am going to say in this series, he was terrible making decisions. And in this, if Anthony Edwards shoots 50% from 3, am I going to say now he's the best shooter in the NBA? No. But I am going to say in that series, he was the best shooter and it changed the series. I say that, I keep saying this for the last 2 weeks. I can separate what's happening currently from making it holistic assessments on a player's overall status.
But see, this is my whole pushback on that, Mark.
Jordan,
real quick, can I speak on something? What you were saying, Morris? Because I just want to say I agree with that. And that's why I'm trying to just kind of get us to start seeing it more of a game-to-game basis. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's how it works. I just think that ultimately, if we judge somebody's whole career off of one game, that's unfair. You know what I'm saying? But we can talk about who was better today, who was better in this series. I think we can do both, you know what I'm saying? But we can't indict a player off of one game. And the reason I say that is because the basketball is so mental too. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to make quick decisions, and life happens. You know what I'm saying? So we got to also remember that these people are humans. You know what I'm saying? So when you were talking about if Tyrese Halliburton it does this or does that with turnovers or something, you never know. Anything could be happening in life. You know what I'm saying? It's a family member that's not doing too well, a big decision coming up. You know what I'm saying? People got kids, things like that. That stuff, regardless if we want to admit it or not, that stuff does affect you. And that can affect you on the basketball court, professional or not. And so that's why it's like that. That's why I'm saying you can have a bad game today or throw some extra turnovers today just by having a mental lapse. You know what I'm saying? But that's not an indictment on your whole carear. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a day-to-day thing.
But this is my pushback, Ox, on what Mars was saying about, for the series, that's the time. I think people underestimate the pressure of winning and how that affects your game too. People underestimate that this game is all about winning. You can have your regular season stats, you can have your first round stats, but in the finals, if you can't mentally focus and put that together, that's something that can be put against you. That's the pressure of winning. That's why winning feels so good. So when people be like, well, in the finals, he didn't do this. And it's like, yeah, but if he go to the finals and do it 4 or 5 times and he keep playing perfect in the regular season, James Harden, I love James Harden, but the pressure of winning has gotten to James Harden a few times. I'll say that. So I look at that if me and you on the same tier,
yep,
and I succeed and achieve when the pressure of winning is coming against both of us, I'm that dude. You just playing second fiddle. Nothing wrong with that though. But I'm that guy. You gotta stamp me as that. And that's why a lot of times when people win championships plus the finals MVP, they get stamped as that because that's what's most important. When Giannis won the finals and the finals MVP, best in the world. Jokic, best in the world. Bron, everybody thought Bron was the best in the world, but it was conversations until he won a championship that's what he needed to be in Kobe talks and all this other stuff. That's what it is. It's stamped on that. And I don't apologize for that. I feel
somebody
like
legacy going up.
Game.
this year, Jordan.
That's a part of the
I don't know if it's Halliburton. I don't know if it's Brunson. I don't know if it's Ant. I don't know if it's Shai. I'm giving somebody major love. When you go and win an NBA championship, lead your team to an NBA championship. My correction, lead your team to an NBA championship. You get love for that. You get major. In my books, you get major love.
Winning
you deserve that love, Ron. Yeah, you deserve that love.
Matters. I'm not going to argue that. I just think that
OG Anunoby.
Mars, you made a valid point, and I'm thinking to myself, well, throughout the course of the regular season, this is what brings us to the playoffs. And can a bad playoff series completely erase everything else that I did? So, like, if I get to the Western Conference Championship, everything, like Julius Randle is a prime example of that. Julius Randle now in the playoffs has been playing really well.
Yes.
This season, he hasn't been great. Injuries in addition to injuries,
he's been good for the last few months. Like,
yes, but
he's been available.
If he ends up having if he ends up having a subpar Western Conference Finals, do we now go back to, oh, this is the Julius that we've been talking about? But on the flip side to that, what happens if he gets busy? Now the expectation for him goes up. That, okay, can Julius be this guy that I thought he was? Can he be the player that I always thought he was? And it's not just going to be just because of these playoffs. It's going to be because of everything that I've seen throughout the course of not just this season, but what I've seen throughout the course of his career. This is the only time that he's been able to put that together, which is why I talk about him like that. To your point, when you're talking about players being great, it doesn't matter that, okay, my shot wasn't falling in this particular series. I'm still awesome, but my shot wasn't falling. On top of that, we end up losing. That doesn't negate you as a player. But it does in some aspect off the strength that you are our guy. And that contributed to us losing. And that's part of it. Because if winning matters, then losing has to matter too.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Chill. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on all that.
A team or player, whatever, can lose a series. And I think if a player plays poorly and is a direct reason why his team lost, I think they should be correctly criticized for that, no matter how good they are, whether that's Jokic or that's Ben Simmons, whoever it is. If you're a direct reason why your team loses, like Jokic was playing poorly in those 3 games against OKC, they lost 2 of them. Jokic was rightfully criticized.
Sure.
They ultimately ended up losing the series. I still think Jokic is the best player in the world. Like, because what I'm looking at is in a 7-game sample, I think Jokic had 3 bad games. Is that fair to say? Maybe 4. Yeah. 4 bad games, actually. I think you've had 4 bad games. Yeah, 4 bad games. 4 bad games. Game 2, game 3, game 4, game 7. Is that fair?
Game 7 should count as 2. But go ahead.
I'm gonna say 4 bad games. Game 2, 3, 4, and 7. He had 4 bad games out of a 7-game series. I still think he's the best player in the world. But I can also say I think he's the best player in the world. I also think he wasn't good in this series against OKC. Right. And I actually think he was a reason, not the reason, a reason why Denver weren't able to get over the hump in this series. I can say both of those things, and I don't think that's contradictory. That's where I'm at.
It's not.
So, like, when I see a lot, this is maybe back to Chill's point about the 3 years things. I don't know. Like, when I have such a large sample of Jokic's skill set, his production, his value, his impact, all of those things, right. A 7-game sample where he's not great, or in 4 out of 7 games where he's not great, that's not going to just all of a sudden I just forget all of the great skills he has. Like, no, he wasn't great in those 4 games. I can acknowledge that. He deserves to be criticized for that. Why was he not great in those games? I like to think I've done a good job of explaining like what OKC were doing that affected him, what Jokic was doing badly that affected him. Like, I like to think I've done a good job with that. But that doesn't mean I now have to say, well, is Jokic really just the 4th best player in the world? Like, no, like Giannis lost, and I think Giannis wasn't perfect in every game. He wasn't great defensively. He got actually attacked for a lot of the, was it 4th quarter and overtime? Or maybe it was game 5. I can't remember which game it was.
Game 5.
But I still think Giannis is the most dominant driver and interior force in the NBA. I still think the mid-range jump shot improvement was a real thing. I still think he's majorly improved as a playmaker, and I still think he's one of the top 3 players in the world. Shai, same thing. He struggled for most of the playoffs before, like the last 3 games of the Denver series. That doesn't mean, oh yeah, everything I said about Shai this season, yeah, just out the window. He's not that good. He's a foul bait and like no. So it's like, and with Ant, I've become higher and higher on Ant as the season has gone on. You guys have heard me from where I was at the start of the season.
I'm right there with you, Mars.
From where I was on the start of the season on Ant, I thought he was the 3rd best shooting guard in the league before the season started. I had Devin Booker number 1. Donovan Mitchell number 2, and Anthony Edwards number 3. As the season has gone on, Anthony Edwards to me now is the best shooting guard in the league.
Sure.
And that's before the playoffs started. I've been saying that for like the last few months because I've seen the improvement as an outside shooter. I've seen the improvement as a decision maker and playmaker. And that's leveled up even more so in the playoffs. And Anthony Edwards deserves that type of credit, in my opinion. And I'm giving him what I think is the fair amount of credit for doing those things. He's now even better now than I thought he was. When did the playoffs start? A month ago? He's not even better now than I thought he was a month ago. And that's because of what I've seen in terms of dealing with the coverages he's seeing against the Lakers, against the Warriors, and dissecting them. I'm like, this is major playmaking improvement. Anthony Edwards, if he has a bad series against OKC, because we're talking about if they win, what does this mean for Anthony Edwards? Where does he rank? If he has a bad series against OKC, he's not all of a sudden, oh yeah, he's worse than Donovan Mitchell again. Like, no, I don't think that's the case either. So like, it works both ways. I'm not gonna go overboard if he wins and say, oh well, he's now better than Shai or he's top 5. But I'm also not going to go the complete other way if they lose and he struggles and be like, yeah, he's not better than Donovan Mitchell. He's not better than Devin Booker. He's not better than insert whatever other guard you want to say. Like,
yeah.
But Mars, I'm agreeing with you on that one too. I also feel like for me, Anthony Edwards is better than Donovan Mitchell. But if Ant has a bad series against the Thunder, I can listen to the conversation of somebody tell me that Donovan Mitchell is better than him. Like, I'm okay with that conversation now. Like stuff happens. But
listen to the conversation today.
I mean, I ain't listening to shit. But all I'm saying is like, this is how important winning is, and like this is how much it matters, and like how it haunts you. We all know Jerry West is a hell of a player. We all know that, right? Everybody, his peers around him don't know that, but they don't bring him up with one of the greatest, like they would do a Bill Russell and stuff like that. Why?
Because he didn't win as much.
That's why. And this is,
Russell, but sure.
Man, whatever. But all I'm saying is, I got a different opinion on Bill Russell, but whatever. All I'm saying is, Jerry West was great, bro. Like one of the best scorers we've seen. But at the same time, he didn't win. So that's what comes with this territory.
If Jerry West would have got 4 or 5 of them championships,
exactly. We would have been saying Jerry is top 5. Top this and these combos.
No, for real, chill. So. With 5 rings.
I entirely understand that. But like Jordan speaking generally, and I agree. This is how it works generally. I agree. The winning does not mask. The winning boosts people up rankings, all time and current standings. I agree. I understand how it works for the general public. I think Jerry West is the 3rd best point guard ever. We did this last offseason. I had Jerry West number 3. I had Steph 1, Magic 2, Jerry West 3. I had Oscar Robertson with only 1 championship. Number 4. I have Chris Paul and Steve Nash. They were the next group. They have no championships. Like, I had John Stockton after that. He has no championships. Like, so for me, I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not saying everyone else has to change how they do things. I'm saying this is how I do it. And I'd like to think I've been pretty consistent with how I do it. Because I have Jerry West, to your point, as the 3rd best point guard ever, and he only has 1 championship. I have Oscar Robertson as the 4th best point guard. He only has 1 championship. So this isn't just, someone said I was picking and choosing because I didn't say Kevin Durant shooting 48% from 3 in the finals was a hot streak. But I've also never used Kevin Durant shooting 48% from 3 in the finals to boost them up all-time lists. That's where I think I'm being consistent, because I don't think shooting way above or below average is an indictment on the player in 5-game samples. Like, I just think that happens, especially when you're a jump shot heavy player. So I've never used that to boost KD. I've never used it to demonize KD when he has series where he doesn't shoot great from 3s. KD's had series shooting 28% from 3. He has series shooting 48% from 3. Neither one do I overreact to, because I know Kevin Durant, he's in the middle in terms of how good of a 3-point shooter he is. Now, where I come at Kevin Durant is some of the playmaking, the ball handling stuff, the limitations there, and then the lack of rim pressure as the years have gone on. Those are valid criticisms that show up throughout the regular season, throughout the playoffs. And sometimes his team loses in part because of his inability to do some of those things at an elite level. And those are the things that I will criticize KD for. Not because in a certain situation, his jump shot left him behind and he shot 28% from 3. Now that hurts them in the series. And in that series, you criticize him. But that does not now mean KD's not an all-time great shooter. That's all I'm saying. We can speak about what's happening within the series without it being an indictment on a player's whole career or what they've done in that whole season. What Jokic did this season isn't now minimized because they lost in the second round and he struggled against OKC. What he did this season was still phenomenal. He was, in my opinion, the best player this season. That doesn't now change because of what happened to Denver in the playoffs and because he didn't play at that level in the playoffs. Now, can we talk about what he did in the playoffs? Absolutely. And does he deserve to be criticized for what he did offensively in the playoffs? Absolutely. Am I going to join in that criticism? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean I have to then reevaluate everything I've said about Jokic 6 months ago. Because what I was saying 6 months ago doesn't apply to what I'm saying today. That's all I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to separate the smaller samples and what's relevant at that time to making it more holistic about where a player ranks in the grand scheme of things. Ant can outplay Shai in the series. I wouldn't bet against it. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet against it. That doesn't mean he's better than Shai. Shai can outplay Ant. That doesn't prove he's better than Ant. I already thought he was better than that. Like, that's all I'm trying to say.
That's where the confirmation bias comes in, 100%.